goal was to hit 1 million in the first day and the first 24 hours because of this anticipation. But basically, the anticipation we created was way bigger than I expected, and we could hit 1 million just the first hour. And actually, as you mentioned, we crashed the platform.
Yo guys, you guys broke the internet on Kickstarter. We had 2 crashes and we still hit $1 million in an hour, guys.
Hi Mush.
Hello.
I wanted to ask how are you, but then I remembered that you raised more than 7 million in 58 days.
Yes, I'm very good.
Perfect. So let's talk about the campaign itself. And there are a lot of stuff that I would love to discuss with you as you were the project manager. And Ani mentioned that PM is the backbone of each campaign. So let's dive deeper into this backbone stuff. How did you decide the positioning of the campaign? Like, it's quite interesting because the product existed before and this was a new upgraded version. Did you give it to the audience as the same one that existed before?
I'll be honest, it came with the product. Before us, they did some visual design for their posters. They went to some events and they used those posters and messaging. Yeah, so it came from the product itself. Like when the partners told their story, when they showed what they wanted to achieve with the product, it was natural, I would say, that it was an icon and it was reimagined because it had some features that the old product has, the old version. And by saying old version, for those people who don't know, it was the BB-777. It was originally made by Sharp brand. And the team just added some more features to make it work for current user. And it was basically natural came from the product and from the team, from the BB team.
Mm-hmm. So the team made it for the current user to work. Who was that current user? The users that used to be the GG777? GF777.
Yeah, the user was the founder himself. I would say because the story he told, it was all for all those people. The users are all that people. Those people who were children in 80s, late or around 80s, and the story is that they either had GF777, and at that time that product was an icon, or they wanted to have but they couldn't afford. And since it was an icon at that time, they wanted to have this product, and they didn't have, or they had some memories connected to that. Some of those people became collectors of old boomboxes, and that was the overall user. That was the overall target audience for us, and basically it came from the founder because the founder said and told his story. And from that story and from some research and data we collected from the pre-launch, we understood that this is the main target audience. These are the people who want this product. But since we are in 2026, they not only want the same product, only with better materials, but also they want some more features, right? For let's say, besides the cassette, the CD, the USB, the Bluetooth being the main feature, main upgrade, because a lot of people use phones and they connect to Bluetooth speakers. To almost every speaker has Bluetooth, right? Bluetooth connectivity, and Bluetooth was one of the biggest upgrades, and it was really upgraded version of the old iconic brand product. just reimagined.
Yeah. Actually, I have two questions. One is a short one, the other one is a long one to dive deep into. There on the page, I see the founder version of the new product. What was it like? Was it kind of his story put in the speaker?
Yeah, it was. The Founders Edition had several things. It came with a certificate with the wet signature from the founder himself, the badge, which or with the numbered sign like 1 of 777, 2 of 777, and this was there were three colors. And the first 777 units of production with signature from the founder and with the signature badge, etc., with the collector value, let's say. And they had already also a badge on the strap. So it was actually not feature-focused upgrade, but more of the first 777 production units right from the production with collector value.
It's very smart,
Yeah.
like the personalized niche stuff that people always want to be in.
Yeah, it's actually kind of best for collectors because we also sold at $100 more. The price was $100 more. And all those people who wanted to be first and who wanted to have this signature 1 of 777, right? They know that only 777 units in the whole world
Can exist.
They exist, and one of them is theirs. And this was actually the biggest value for the collectors. And then those people who would want, who would value the product to want to have one of the first one.
So now let's go back to my second question, which is about one thing that you mentioned, pre-launch, that you gather some kind of insights. What are those insights? What did you get? And also, I want to connect something to it, that the Founders Edition was $100 more, and you understood that people will still buy it, will still consider it to have. Did you understand it in the pre-launch stage again or during the live stage? How are you usually understanding stuff?
Yeah. So first, the insight actually was that the story that we wanted to tell and we were telling was the right one. To the people, all those 40, 50 plus year men, they actually wanted to have one. And now it was the great time, the great product with the basically the same look of the GF777. They wanted to have one. And they all telling us the same story. And in the survey, when we sent the survey on pre-launch, we asked why did you reserve? And a lot of people saying the same thing. Because I wanted one, because I had one, because I wanted one but couldn't afford. And now this is great. This is the right time that I can afford and I can have one and I can show my son. Some people also told that.
They were kind of doing for their inner child.
Yeah. Their inner child, bringing all those childhood memories back and also trying to create one for their children. Yeah, this was the insight that we got, and we said, okay, so yeah, we are telling the right story. And the price for the Founder Edition, basically when we do pre-launch validation, we also do price validation. It includes in the pre-launch validation, and the results were very, very good. And we knew that the price that we were testing was $649. We knew that this is the right price to go to market, but we also it's not the max that we can have, and so we understood that we can increase the price, but also add some value. In our case, for the Founder Edition, collector value, and price it $100 more.
Okay. So let's now talk about all the channels that you use to hit these numbers. First of all, would you imagine that it can go this high?
No, I wouldn't. I didn't imagine. Um, yeah, but
Yeah. So let's talk about different directions that you worked on. I mean, you and your team, what each direction brought, the importance of it, and what were the main challenges. We can talk about the challenges later, but now let's kind of concentrate on what worked the best for this campaign, because it's very unique. I never saw this kind of project that was not a very innovative one to appear on Kickstarter and break the record. It also break the records, right?
yeah, it also broke some records, and so I think the best part of the campaign for me was that we were really well prepared before we launched, because we collected a lot of leads and a lot of reservations, and we could nurture them to wait for us, to wait for the launch, and to hit those great numbers initially. So for the pre-launch, I would say the pre-launch preparation overall, which includes the lead generation, advertising, email marketing, social media, and community building, and also preparing for the influencer marketing and PR during that stage to give the boost after the launch. And so the biggest thing I think was these three I would say pillars, which is the advertising, bringing traffic with the advertising, and then nurturing them through email marketing, and collecting them into a group community. We did on WhatsApp, and I think for the pre-launch stage, this was the biggest, best performing actions that we did to really well prepared for the launch, and also since we had Founder Edition, we needed to nurture them and give not only the production information, but also information and create the value for the Founder Edition, because it's not just one email. You send one email and everyone is ready to pay $100 more. You need to continuously give the value. And also for the community building on WhatsApp, not only our team, but also partners themselves that were recording videos and giving updates from production part, from that they just telling the story. They're telling the story of their collectors, and all these three things, all these three channels, I would say, or pillars that were very successful because they helped us to raise $1 million in the first hour. Then we hit $2 million in 5 hours. Yeah, and we hit 3 million in less than 48 hours, in less than 2 days. And all this is a response from the pre-launch preparation. And then we started to push that traction with all the other channels and try to find new ways to bring more traffic.
Yeah, what you just mentioned is very cool, and I actually never saw this kind of stuff, that Founder was the kind of core of the community because he belonged there to, right? He created a product for the exact kind of community. The community was, of course, the target audience, and you told that those were mostly men above 50 years old. Were you also trying to find new audiences, for example, younger generation? I mean, for example, Gen Z. Were they performing or not at all?
Yeah, they didn't perform. They, from our pre-launch results and insights, we understood that these are not the people that want the product, and these are not the people who are ready to pay as much as 50-year-old men for this product, because Gen Z doesn't have that memory, but 50 years old man has and wants to bring that childhood memory back, and this is what's the main motivation behind paying, right? Getting that product. not the features, because some of the times Gen Z may pay more attention to the features, but for this product, a lot of men were bringing back their childhood memories.
Yeah, it's interesting because Gen Z usually is paying attention what, for example, is booming in social media, what influencers are saying, and this was product that was within the interest of the influencers as well, right? So they might have seen it and still not being very interested. I think that maybe they missed all the movies from back to 80s with all these cool street parts of the movie where people were walking with their boombox and creating all the atmosphere. Yeah, they missed something for sure.
Yeah. All this, those people were using the boomboxes, putting them on their shoulders. Yeah, walking. So yeah.
So let's go to the challenges. What I wanted to say what was the most challenging part, but I think it's not was. What were the most challenging parts of the campaign?
Yeah. So I think the biggest challenge was the amount of new people, new to the Kickstarter people, who
Did not know what Kickstarter
yeah,
was.
they didn't know what Kickstarter is. They didn't know how to back and what back is, what backing is, what reward is, how they check their order, when they will be charged, when they will get the product, and all these things. And there were not just, I don't know, 10, 50 people. There were a lot of people, hundreds of people that
Almost
didn't know
all
how
of the
to do.
leads.
Yeah, almost all of the leads. And considering that we launched with the founder edition that had 777 limited quantity for each color, and it was selling out quickly, you need to support all those people. You need to contact all those people and help them to be quickly, so they can also get one founder edition. This was, I think, the one of those challenging parts of the launch. I would say that a lot of people came like saying, I want to get one, and the founder edition is selling out. Please help me right now. Please help ASAP. And we weren't ready for that amount of traffic, but we handled I think, very well.
So this was kind of the most challenging part for the campaign.
One of them, because I think we knew that a lot of people don't know what Kickstarter is and how to back. And before launching, we did a email sequence telling them what Kickstarter is, how to back, and also the founder recorded a video showing how to back a reward or back a campaign on Kickstarter.
That's before the launch.
Before the launch.
That's why you crashed the platform.
That's why we crashed the platform. Yeah. Yeah, and he just he recorded a video showing how to back, and he backed a random campaign to show how to do it and how it's done. We also gave information what the reward is and what the pledge is. When will you be charged, the shipping timelines, etc.
You were not only doing the marketing of the campaign, but also educating people about the crowdfunding sphere.
Yeah, basically giving all this information and the education before we launch, and it paid off.
Of course, it's going to pay off some more campaigns for the other founders as well. Like they have the same kind of audience.
This is actually one of those important parts, because if you are not launching innovative product or a gadget, most probably some portion of your backers will be first-time backers. And if you have their emails and you're doing lead generation, it's important to educate them, because when you launch, it's important to have everyone to come and beg your project to create a traction, this initial traction. But if a lot of people don't know how to do it, they're going to drop from the checkout point, and that's going to hurt your traction.
Yeah, especially when it shows that it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, all
Do you
those
know
notes that
that
they
it's
get
not
that.
guaranteed? Like,
Yeah, you may not get the product.
yeah, yeah, it's something kind of very dangerous to work with the first-time bakers, especially if they are from the older generation, because they are more skeptic, I think.
Yeah, yeah, they get all these notifications, they get all these warning notes. You can't do much about it. You need to just educate them that yes, it says, let's say specifically for the Kickstarter, it says that you may not. It's not a e-commerce shop, and you may not get your product, but it's not always the case. And you need to educate them that yes, it says that, but it's not the ours is not that case, because we already reached our goal. We already did all the stuff. The founder appears in front of the camera, so you see the founder, and I don't know, videos from the production. It's like all these things, like squeezed into a week, because a lot of people, as you get close to the launch, a lot of people start messaging a lot of questions. And when you launch, a lot of people ask the same questions and different other questions from their journey on backing your campaign. And you need to be there with all this proof and all this educational information and stuff to handle all this traffic and support them properly.
So it's kind of like you being about 30 years old, needed to go back to early 80s to understand how the behavior of your potential backers was, because like they were the vast majority, right? And you needed to guide your team as well to understand how things worked back then. What was kind of the most challenging part in understanding kind of their behavior, and what kind of methods did you use to understand their behavior, how they would react, and were you kind of prepared to have this kind of backlash from their side when you launch the campaign and they come and say, like, we do not know what Kickstarter is, how to back, but they were the people who were going to be the core of the campaign from the backer side?
So the behavior, you mean they have never pledged anything and they didn't.
Yes, that, and also like what were they expecting from the product? Because like as far as I can imagine, they are not very active social media users, and you need to analyze a lot before the campaign to understand what were they paying most of the attention to, so that you can create the strategy of the campaign based on the potential behavior that they might have.
So it turned out that they actually are pretty active on social media.
Okay.
Yeah, specifically on Facebook. So basically, people, if your target audience is like 40 plus, 45 plus years old men, most probably Facebook is the main social media they use. But in terms of the behavior, we got this kind of experience from other campaigns. I have never had a campaign that had like 65% newcomers for the Kickstarter. Yeah, and mostly it's like 30%.
Okay, it's crazy like how you needed to adjust your whole kind of management of the strategy and the core to adapt to the newcomers.
Yeah, so it's usually it's 30%. So their effect is not that much. You still do educate them, and you still have all this educational information and sequences for them. But understanding that around 60%, I didn't expect that. I knew that a lot of people don't know the Kickstarter, but I didn't expect 65% cold audience. I would say call to crowdfunding audience. And it came from our past experience that there are some people that don't know. So we needed to educate. And while we were sending emails and messages of this educational information, we understood that we get a lot of questions, a lot more than we would expect about specifics of what's the backing, what's the pledging, or what's the Kickstarter. How am I gonna beg, or a lot of similar questions, and we understood that the majority the percentage of the people who don't know the crowdfunding or Kickstarter is way higher than what we would expect. And therefore we went a bit forward with more educational stuff. We created an email sequence for our last days and for the community management on WhatsApp to show them basically steps on how to do it and specific simplified information. What is reward? It's like the simplified version of your order. Imagine when you go to the Amazon and you click the order, that's the same here for the pledge. It may say that you may not get the product, but you will. So all the simplified and step-by-step information and education helped us to overcome this challenge. And I didn't need to spend a lot of energy to bring my team to this because all of them were involved in the campaign, and from the social media specialists, the sales specialists, the support specialists, all of them are getting a lot of similar questions. So they already understood was the case here.
It's fun that you were educating not only before the launch and for the first days of the launch, but till the last hours how you need to back on Kickstarter.
Yeah. We were educating. The directions and the techniques how we did it changed over time, but basically yes, we had ads how to back, the steps how to back in retargeting till the end of the campaign, and it was performing really well.
Basically managing two different campaigns on the same target audience and doing double work.
Well, if you want to hit that number, yeah, you gotta do that.
A lot of stuff to do. And a question that I saw coming from a lot of people from different platforms, I mean, to the brand side, how did you manage to hit 1 million in 1 hour on this kind of project?
I would say pre-launch preparation. That's the first one, because we had around a month, and we had really good results. I mean, the conversion rate of the landing page on pre-launch, reservation rate on pre-launch. We knew that because the reservation rate was high, we knew that the price that we were testing was really good. The anticipation we created through email sequences, especially when we started introducing the Founder Edition and all the value that Founder Edition brings. And email sequence also created anticipation for these units. And we understood that the anticipation is high because not only a lot of people were replying our emails and asking like how to get this, how I can reserve this, but also a lot of people were speaking about this on social media in different communities, specifically on Facebook groups. And we understood that a lot of people value this. A lot of people are waiting for this product. And all these things, we didn't have like several months to create this anticipation or create sequences to keep them warm. We had relatively short time, and we spent a lot of a lot of money to bring a lot more people, a lot of leads and reservations. On pre-launch stage, our goal was to, since the results were good, to increase the amount of reservations that we had and the amount of leads that we had. Because converting them in the first day would help us reach that $1 million. And our goal was to hit $1 million in the first day, not the first hour. I didn't expect
I thought
to
you were
hit
going
that.
to say in the first minute.
No, but the goal was to hit the 1 million in the first day and the first 24 hours. And because of this anticipation, but basically the anticipation we created was way bigger than I expected, and we could hit 1 million just the first hour. And actually, as you mentioned, we crashed the platform. Yeah, and this created another challenge when a lot of people comes and like, I want to beg but I can't, and you have nothing to do.
All your educational stuff was not helping there.
Yeah, all the educational stuff didn't help because I also couldn't load the platform.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask, like, what was something that you were not expecting during the marketing campaign? But I think that after everything that you said, a lot of things you were not expecting.
Yeah, a lot of things I didn't expect, but also the going back to your previous question about $1 million in the first hour. Also, it was based on the strategy because we wanted to hit 1 million in the first 24 hours, and we had a strategy for that. And the strategy was that we're gonna stress and we're gonna focus our founder edition because we created the value. We know that we created value, and our goal was to just have all these 3 units sold out in the first day, and we knew that if we can create the anticipation for these units specifically, we can reach a lot of we can raise around $900,000 in the first day. And with all the other bundles that we created, we could easily hit the $1 million. But we sold out those founder edition even sooner than we expected, in like 2 hours. And yeah, so we had the strategy to completely sell those 3 founder editions in the first day, and the plan was that, but I didn't expect to sell out 2 of them right in the first 2-3 hours. I expected to sell, and the basic strategy was to sell the first silver edition, but it was sold out the first in like an hour or so. And yeah, and I also the second thing, I just didn't expect that much engagement from the community. And it also comes to the strategy that we created, which was to create the value around the product and anticipation of the units. But I didn't expect that whatever the brand says about the crowdfunding, a second later, at least 10 people is discussing on Facebook group. At least 10 people. And at the end of the campaign, we had 2 Facebook groups created by the backers themselves. One of them had...
They did not let you in.
They didn't let me in, yeah. The only founders. Like no marketing people here. Yeah, and cumulatively they had around 3,500 people there. And the next one that I didn't expect, again coming back from the anticipation strategy, that a lot of people, I couldn't imagine that so many people were waiting for the founder edition units. In the middle of the campaign, when we had all these 3 units sold out, there were people that were refunding their founder editions for some reason, and we had a lot of people that were waiting for someone to refund to get so that they can get that founder edition. And whenever someone refunded their founder edition, the longest thing maybe is 5 to 10 seconds that we was there, because also those groups were field where those people were screenshotting and sending their
it's available.
it's available. Go and back it.
It's like
And-
waiting for the your favorite singer's concert tickets.
Concert tickets. Yeah, the same thing. And 10 seconds later, it's gone. Like if you wanted, you couldn't even get that.
There are a lot of insights from this campaign that you mentioned, and what would be the most important one that you would take from this campaign as a project manager, you and with your team?
The most important insight.
Yeah.
I would say it shaped the overall campaign, shaped how I look into the lead generation stage, and how I create the following anticipation and engagement from the community to boost the traction after the launch.
And is this something that you can implement easily on other campaigns, or it needs to be something specific like Boombox had?
I wouldn't say it's something specific, but I would say that it's not one strategy, or it's not one insight that can be implemented for all kinds of campaigns. I would say the similar thing can be done for similar target audience, but from other experiences that I had from other projects, I would say that if the project, let's say, is more of a it's a woman-centric campaign, you can very much focus on the lead generation, knowing that your life stage may not be as successful. But for similar campaign, and this stage also with all this anticipation creation strategy and educational strategy, for the people who are for the project that you need to tell a story, like very much more focused on the story and emotion, for the BB-777, not for the innovative aspect of the product. You may need more education and more educational and community-focused activities than for maybe for other types of projects. Yeah, and also if the founder has a similar story, that founder-led content is also like key aspect. But for like gadgets, you can't. It's not as success. It may not be as successful to use emotions and story as to use the features and the benefits from those features. So coming back to what I got from this project overall, it's the focuses and the sequences. It's more of a tactical things, focuses and strategies, how to create this anticipation before the launch, how you can use limited editions and limited quantities and special editions to create traction when you launch, and I would say how you can create a community and how you can get the insights from this community to continuously get support from them even after the launch. So I think all these things shaped how I look into creating strategy for the pre-launch stage for similar products, and how I look into the marketing activities after the live. And also, I think now having higher benchmarks and setting higher goals, not forgetting, I think the most important thing, the budget management.
Yeah. After our discussion, I can congratulate you not only about the race, but also about all these insights that you are taking with you and all these technical management skills that you and your team gained. It's like very, very crazy, because I never saw this kind of stuff working on any of the campaigns. And if there is anything that you would love to add so that creators know, the speech is yours. If you have not anything to add, I think that's it, and want to thank you again for being again our wonderful guest today.
Thank you. I would add one small thing for the creators, because I see a lot of people inspired by such successful projects have unrealistic goals. I want to say that the most important thing is to look at the projects, look at the campaigns and products from realistic perspective, and set realistic goals, and set those goals based on insights that you would collect. Because if you don't have realistic goals, if you don't look into all this aspect of a project from
Real aspect of what you want to achieve.
you would fail. Because first, when you set benchmarks, high benchmarks that are not realistic, you don't have any insights to back them up. You don't have any strategy to reach that goal. You just have, I don't know, a number.
Yeah,
right.
Random number of what others achieved, and you want just the same.
Yeah. And it comes to a point when you have an insight, and you know that insight supports your ambitious goals, and you know that insight supports that you can have $1 million project or even higher, and then you set a higher goal, right? And your strategy is already to reach that goal, to understand what are the objections that you may have, what are the blockers that you will have, how to overcome them, and to reach that goal. And I think doing it effectively and efficiently, not forgetting the ROI and budget. And I think this is the biggest note that I would say, because a lot of people look at these projects and say, I can make the same product and reach the same success. You won't. Most probably you won't. Yeah. So this is the, I think, note that I would leave.
Yeah, not, and I think very important advice.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much again, Mush. And to all the people that were watching this episode with us, if you have any questions about BB-777 to Mush, make sure to drop those in the comments section. Stay tuned.